everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Local Vibe. I'm Kelli Davison, and with me today, I have...
Antonio Postorino.
Hey, Antonio.
Thanks for having me, Kelli. I'm super excited.
Thanks for coming. So I'm super excited to interview Antonio because he always has a lot to say. First off, he keeps you on your toes. But
that's for sure.
But Antonio, I've known Antonio for about 6 years, right, Antonio?
I know. It's been a long time. It feels like forever. We've been good friends for a long time.
But he was a baby when I met him. So I believe he was like 20 years old. So if you want to do the math on how old he is now.
No, it was probably 19... I was 19 when I met you, actually. Yeah, so I'm 25 now.
So he was young. Like, I have kids that age, so he was very young. But what intrigued me about Antonio, when I met him at the age of 19, he never worked at a McDonald's. He never worked at a Burger King.
I worked at Baskin Robbins, actually.
Oh, he did have a real job. So, okay, you did have a real job.
And I worked at TJ Maxx. No, I've had some real jobs, but those don't work out for me.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he did have a real job. So when I met him, he actually owned his own business at 19 years old. And the name of your business is?
It's Unfiltered PR. So we're a public relations and digital marketing agency.
Okay. So... Unfiltered PR. How did you fall into that at such a young age? Like, when did you start that? You were 19. So, like, when did you actually start that?
And I feel like it's so funny because everyone's always like, well, when did you have time? Like, you're supposed to be in college. So I graduated college at 19, as you know. And I started my company while I was in school, actually, which is super fun. Really grateful because I was able to do that. So I started it when I was 19. I realized that what I was doing a lot on the side, like freelancing, is a big business. And I originally went to school to become a doctor. I originally wanted, did you know that? I wanted to be a veterinarian.
I think maybe you did tell me that.
Yeah.
Those poor dogs and cats.
I know, literally, those poor animals, when I tell you, all of them would be dead. All of them. So I went to school pre-med, which I think is super interesting. And then
But wait, he was at Lynn University. That's not a pre-med, though.
There was like a program that was pre-med.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I failed my first biology class and I said, great, thank you so much, never doing this again. And then from there, it really just spiraled into, what do I want to do? So I was like, okay, I want to do marketing. And then, so I took some marketing classes. I figured that out. And then when I was getting hundreds on all my presentations and everything, I was like, oh, like I'm really good at this because I'm a big creative. And like, I'm always thinking there's always a new idea, new invention, something. And then I turned it into PR because I was doing that for a lot of TV personalities. So from there, I was like, okay, well, like people make money off this shit. Like, why aren't I? So I graduated college at 19 and I was like, all right, we're just going to do this full time.
So we're going to like roll back right there. You said something really cool. Like you at 19 years old, you were doing PR, but you were doing them for TV personalities.
Yeah.
What holds your front door? Like how do you just like fall into TV personalities and like doing PR
I fell into it. And this is a conversation I had earlier. I literally fell into like my job and my career, which I think is super fun because like it was all natural. So when I'm from New Jersey originally, as you know, and I was working with some TV personalities up there because they were coming to some of my charity events.
Can you tell us names of the TV?
Yeah, for sure. So I was working with like...
Let's give us the juice. We're here to get all the juice from you. And you're like, I work with TV person. But you're not giving us like, come on, name drop, Antonio.
I try to be humble.
But we want you to name drop. That's why we're here. Okay.
So I work a lot with the Real Housewives. If you watch like Bravo, I've worked at, I think it's like 40 something at this point. All different franchises.
40 something housewives.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of housewives.
Exactly.
And we all know how like cray they can be. That's a whole lot of makeup, hairspray, drama.
And I'm pretty calm.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like I think that I'm a pretty like level-headed person, so it's funny how like I work with some of the most interesting people, to say the least. So I started working with a housewife in New Jersey.
Who was your first housewife?
So my first paying housewife was not Dolores. Dolores would come to my charity events, and then we started doing some work stuff together. And then I started working with some of the other girls on our franchise, and then it really like, they're like cockroaches, I say. Like once you know one housewife, you know them all. Because they all want to like work with someone, and they always want to do something. Like they're all hustlers in that aspect. Like they're businesswomen, so they always try to like get to the next level. So I was someone that was helping everyone to get to the next level. So then they all started working with me. I would reach out to them and, show them like my portfolio of work and like talk about who I've worked with. And like, you just have to text your friend and say, hey, do you know who this is? And like, great. And they're like, yeah, I can make you some money. Like, why wouldn't you say yes?
We have all the reality TV stuff going on. Your influencers, all of that. So talk a little bit more about like what you do. You do endorsement deals.
Yeah. So like what we do is we manage the endorsements for the talent. So, but we also work on the flip end. Ever since of the pandemic, things changed a lot. And since I work with an array of different talent for the brand, it's easier when they contract my agency to help them to facilitate because I know what they're looking for. So I know who's going to perform the best, who's going to get you the most views, who's going to make you the most sales, who fits in your budget, who's not going to just charge you a ridiculous rate and it's not going to convert. Thing is, brands want to invest for a reason. They want to see conversion. It's just like real estate. Like you want to see an investment have an ROI. That's all you want.
Right.
So I help facilitate that for the brands and the talent. So there's brands that reach out to me all the time. Like I have a client right now that they spend this quarter alone mid six figures with my agency, and we contract out the talent, you know, whether it's, you know, a certain niche that they're looking for, men, women, age, demographic, location, all that kind of stuff based off their engagement, what their rates are. We come up with an appropriate rate for them to do certain content, and we help see that out for the brand.
So before we close out this episode.
Oh, wait, it's done?
Well, we can keep going. I could go all night long.
I could go all night too. What time is it? Do we got the time? I love to talk.
Antonio has a lot to say. I mean,
I always have a lot to say.
Do we have another one coming on after this? We'll sit here all night.
But that's who I am, you know, and like, that's who I am with like anything about work. Like I love, like work has become such a strong personality trait of mine. And like, I love it because you never know like who you're going to meet. And like, you know, like someone here today, like they could give me the next $1 million opportunity. Like, I don't know. So I'm always like, like talk about yourself, talk about everything, you know?
Well, and that's what I always tell like my kids and everything. Like, just, you know, my kids are talkers too.
She has to fucking talk to everyone.
Just talk to everybody.
Everyone. Go to the bar, go to the store with the little dog on the walk, whatever, the big dog. You
never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And it's crazy. My kids sometimes will come home and be like, you know who I met today? Or you know who I talked to today? And it's just
we're so lucky to live in South Florida because we're able to have access to people who do really cool things. Like, 1,000%. What are they doing in Michigan? Well, Michigan I feel like is like cool. Like,
why you got to bring up Michigan?
Because that's where
you're
from.
Who's from Michigan?
You. Not my ass. I'm from New Jersey. I don't know what's worse. Okay? It's a 50-50, honestly. Depends on who you're asking and what about. But, you know, that's the thing. It's like we're able to do so much. Like, we live in such a cool area that I think it's, like, so amazing. Like, every day I wake up, I'm like, damn, is this shit real?
So
like,
much opportunity.
I turn on the light and, like, I turn on the water, brush my teeth. I'm like, all right, like, it's still on. Like, we're good.
And we don't get snow here.
No, I like the snow, actually.
Oh, I don't like the snow, so.
Did they have a lot in Michigan?
Yeah, that's why I moved.
Oh, okay. Good to see you.
All right. So as we close out this episode, I know. I mean, like we gotta at some point end this. Like, what is one final thing like you want somebody to know about you or your business?
Probably not about. I hate talking about myself. I actually really don't like talking about. No. I really
not just sit here and talk
I like talking about business.
Oh, okay.
And I think like for anyone out there who's trying to do anything, just fucking do it. Whenever anyone says no, there's 1,000 other yeses that will open your door. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like whatever crazy idea you have, set yourself apart from every other person in this world. Go for it. You're going to be successful. When that's the only option you have, that's what you're going to do is just be successful.
No, I agree. I love that. For every no, there's going to be a yes. 100 no's
for sure.
To get that one
You're talking
yes.
to the wrong person.
Yes.
That's what I always say. Like, and people always say, like, you're so consistent. Like, you always follow up. You always, like, when you want something, you'll beat it to a pulp until you get it. I'm like, yeah, why? But I get what I want at the end of the day. And they're like, but you do it in such a way. And, like, I'm not, like, overly nice. I don't fucking kiss anyone's ass for shit. Never did, never will. I don't need to. We're all humans. And, like, I think it's just, like, we just want to hustle. But I'm also not going to be, like, a dick. But, like, you never know. Like, I'm just myself. And, like, I'm very straight to the point. Like, when I sit in meetings with colleagues, they're always like, you just, like, cut to the chase. Like, you don't be like, hi, how are you? I'm like, what are we here for? Like, let's go. Like, let's fucking work. Like, people don't like that. But it's okay.
I like that.
Because you're like me. You're a hustler. You're like, let's get in. Let's get out.
Well, Antonio, it's been a blast.
We
have to do this again.
For sure.
I love
Thank you for
talking to
having me.
you. And we could, like I said, sit here for hours. So thank you for tuning in on this edition of The Local Vibe with Antonio with Unfiltered PR. If anybody wants to get a hold of you, Antonio, and learn more about your business, how do they get a hold of you?
So you can go online to unfilteredpr.com, follow us on social media, Unfiltered PR or Antonio Postorino. Shoot me an email and let's chat. I love talking to local businesses. I think that's like super important. Like a lot of the brands that I consult for are local. I also consult for multi-billion-dollar brands, but I've also done very small emerging brands, which I think is super fun to like help them grow. So we could do everything. I truly say that like all the time, like small brand, big brand, like we could do it. We can help you really take it to the next level.
Awesome. Get a hold of Antonio for sure. He's awesome. And then if you need to get a hold of me, you can reach me on
buy a house from her. Buy several houses, commercial, buy a boat, whatever you want.
I'm not paying him to do this.
That's fine. But I support my friends. You know me. Like I always tell you, like, hey, like Kelly, like, you want to make money? Like let's make money. And like that's the way it should be.
But
all right, sorry, you can close it
you're
out.
right. You can find me on all my social medias at Kelly Sells Florida Living. My phone number is 561-696-1314. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Local Vibe edition. So have a great evening.
Thanks, Kelly.
Bye. Thanks, Antonio.